I got 3 good games that I want to go over. These are all with a person named SXKR on Tygem. He's a professional player. He's been playing for quite a while. His account apparently was from back in 2005-ish, so he's been around for quite some time. He is white in the first game I'm going to be going over, and the reason why I'm going to be going over him is because I noticed a lot of his lecture, or not his lectures, a lot of his games are pretty good lecture material. Because one thing that he seems to do very, very well is just find a shape and just start poking at it repeatedly until you're dead. So in this game, I will tell you that he is white. The other games, I might not tell you who he is. And you'll just have to see if you can see the same pokes that he sees. So we begin off against another pro player. That's pretty much all he plays against. Most pros on Tygem typically only play against themselves. Though I notice some of the lower professionals will play against amateurs occasionally. But usually not him. Orthodox opening, okay, nothing unusual here. Approaching it like so, backing off, nothing unusual there. This move here, the attachment is all the rage. This one is now no longer played quite so much. Used to be, but you can really only play out this variation for so long until you decide, well, you know what, let's just not play this again because it just keeps resulting in the same freaking thing, and then like occasionally there's a cut at Q16. Yeah. So this is a bit more interesting nowadays. Whoops, that's a mistake. Black connects here. White then connects up his stones like so. And this is where we get into an interesting result. Because black decides that this is going to be attacked immediately, so he throws in. And white's like, okay, I'm going to attach. Now, typically speaking, from here, in this position, we would, forget the SGF tree, we would contemplate doing something like this. But this is a pretty decent way to settle the top side of these white stones. Plus it gives away Sente. Not bad, but maybe we can do better than that. So when white plays here, black goes, okay, how about this? Now, if we play the exact same thing, we're running into a really big problem here, right? Because not only do we have these moves, but we also have these moves and these moves. And those moves, and we've got these moves still. So it looks like we're kind of getting wrecked here if we try to just like surround everything. It doesn't look like our stones are quite capable of pulling that particular one off. So white plays here and says, okay. Black jumps out, getting his territory for himself. All right. And then interesting things happen. Now that he's nice and strong here, he decides to go to the corner. Okay. He is denied connection. Instead of this variation, which would be nice and peaceful and give black Sente potentially. No, probably not. Black probably has to play a move down here. He decides to keep everything cut off. Everything cut off. No ko, just cut off. So when he plays here, black plays Hane. White keeps his base in check. Black says, I'm going to surround you. And this is where things get interesting. This is where things get interesting with this cut point. Because the corner's not exactly solidified just yet, right? We know that we've got a lot of variable options in the corner, such as this, right? Where we can do this kind of thing for a ko, or we could do this kind of thing just to live. So the question is, what are we going to do here? Because though we do have this available, we can't do it quite yet because of this, right? It involves utilizing Q1, and we can't do Q1 if we only have 2 outside liberties. So he cuts, and then Black's just like, jump out, right? Did Bat not advertise? No, Bat did not advertise. Sometimes I forget because it's always the same day at the same time, so I figured most people will probably know that it's there. Though I do have quite a few people on Twitch watching. So there are 89 people on Twitch watching, so there are a few people here. But alright. Yeah, same bat time, same bat channel. So he jumps out first. Who are the players? Players are SXKR on Tygem. He is white versus another professional player on Tygem as black. And white is going to go very, very aggressive against this group. White says, what about this? White says, I'm fine. Black says, no, you're really not. I mean, I'm killing your base right now. You're dying here. White doesn't really care. Why doesn't White really care? What can we possibly do here? I mean, we're sacrificing a corner, it looks like. P7 is close. Your reading is very close there, Saikta. Yes, P6, Caprice. We're going to attach. I think the part that you got caught up on is we're not going to really care if Black plays this because the Atari goes there and then we take. So that's just 3 liberties, right? Can't really do that. So we play here. Black says, all right, how can I go through here? And White says, no. Black says, okay, then I'm going to kill you. And now I thought this was going to be a straight up exchange. Yeah, just a straight up exchange. Like, okay, yeah, great. Outside for inside. Got some influence. I don't know how he's going to use it. And it feels like maybe we need to like even maybe take another like move over here or something. I don't know, to like shore up our shape. But no, he actually plays the Hane first. And this is why his games are amazing to go over. Because he goes here and says, can we go? Now there's a problem, right? Because we got 3 outside. And like what? If we connect here, we've got 3 inside. But we don't really have it because that's going to be the Atari immediately, right? So now we're 2 to 3. That's bad. We can't play it. We can't connect. So he has to come out. White connects. Black tries to come out. Now we're in trouble. We have to connect. White encloses. Black struggles. White keeps him in. Whoops, my bad. Forgot to move. Important move. There we go. Get rid of those liberties. Get rid of those nasty, nasty liberties. Here we go. Here we go. Now he's got enough to go back and win the ko, right? But here's the thing. White has no intention of even fighting the ko. He just goes on the outside. Because holy crap, this is huge. And then from there, he takes an enormous amount of influence for himself by sacrificing that corner. So that is a really cool read. And it starts from here. Like, we have to be able to see that there is a problem with his shape, right? We can threaten the Ko to get him to go on the outside, just to put him into a liberty shortage so we can surround him. We get this like amazing wraparound on his entire group. He has to kill the corner. That corner's dead in Gote. And then this happens. This is why SXKR's games are kind of amazing to watch, because he seems to really have a handle on shape and these like little fights. Well, not little. This thing was giving him almost the entire board in terms of influence. Needless to say, he goes on to win this game. After his opponent realizes he just can't do everything. I mean, he's able to push this a little bit. He tries to poke at this. But how do you get rid of the entire lower left? You have to try to invade that. But then how do you live on the top? You just can't fundamentally do both at the same time, right? I mean, now he's fighting and clawing to reduce A, but the area at B is growing, because if you picture like a stone on top, then what did you just do? You just kind of pushed it right back. Like, we reduced one side, but all we did is just play a game of whack-a-mole. It just appeared somewhere else. So I didn't say he resigns fairly quickly. So that is what SXKR is capable of against a professional player on Tygem. Now, that was one game where I told you who he was. The second game, if I can find out which game it is it this game or the other game? La, 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 la. You know what? I think this one's a really good one to end on. Let's not do that one just yet. Let's do the other one first. Yeah, let's do the other one first. I like the other one. The other one's really cool. Yeah, let's do this one. Okay. Let's see who we can figure out. If we can figure out which player is SXKR. So we've got a fairly straightforward opening here. Black encloses. White says no extension for you. This is actually completely okay to do because it puts potential enclosure with extension away. Black can get this one in, but you can just block that extension too, or you can take your enclosure, you can do whatever you want, so it's actually not that bad. But yeah, same player, SXKR, but I'm not telling you who he is. Let's see if you can identify which player he is. Black approaches confidently. White backs off. Black says, I'm going to make a large area left side of the board for myself. White pincers because top was ignored. And this way he gets in Sente, right? We all know this just like he gets a Sente, so okay. He follows up now. Small note, I'm usually uncertain of this result for white because it feels like you got 3 corners for black, maybe 1 for white, not really sure what's going on. Time to try to live here. Trying to play the fast result. Now we're getting into a variation of this little pincer where no one's currently settled. So we're going to go ahead and make some shape for ourselves. Going to make some shape for ourselves. And looky, looky, looky. It looks like we've got ourselves a group that we can attack. Seems like we've managed to solidify ourselves, and now we're poking. Is it fairly obvious who SXKR is right now? get something to drink. No? Not fairly obvious? Good answer, Sekta. Because if you think that he's black, you might be in for a surprise. Because right now, game against me, I respond here immediately. I wouldn't even think about it. I'd be like, yeah, okay, I can't let that happen. It's just no. D14? Guy, you're getting close. How can we poke at black's shape? E14? Yeah, kind of getting close too. How can we poke at black's shape? Black is trying to kill us. He's not a very nice man. He's trying to kill us. So we need to poke. E15. Getting closer. We can make this exchange first, though. That's pretty helpful. Potentially no eyes on top. Maybe only just the one. Right? Then we can go into here. And now we've got to threaten to split him. So that's pretty good if we get to take that. So black says no split. So white says, well, then I'm going to Atari. Black obviously can't get rid of that stone, so he gets to connect. And then white fixes. So yeah, I would have played this instantly. Instantly. And look at all of that shape I would have missed destroying. Because now he's just a clump. He's just a clump of stones. And yes, this is also a professional player, not amateur. This is, again, against a professional player who just got turned into a mean little clump. So black tries to fight back. It's like, I'm going to connect under my stones. How would you say is a good way to respond to black's attempt to connect under the stones? Any ideas? How do we connect, or how do we respond to black's attempted connection? Q17, go into the corner. Seoul, UK, so aggressive. Worry more about what you can do, and less about what your opponent can do, young one. People say K18. Multiple people say K18. Nope, 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 nope. Concentrate on what you can do, what your potential is. He's just like, okay, I'll build. I'm going to threaten to surround you, and I'm going to build. Because can we really connect here? How? I don't see a connection there. Do you? I don't. So now we're trying to do something here. Trying to do something here. Gets horribly cut off. Now we really, really have to do something here. Try and take advantage of all the shape problems. If we like drop down, we can cut because we've got this strangulated here. We're like just like squeezing it by the throat. So if we drop down, that cut's gonna really hurt. So he doesn't bother trying. He just plays the Atari. Makes shape that you should always be aware of. Now we have no choice but to connect, but that connect leads into a little bit of a walk here at L17. But first we try to kill the 3 stones. Pressure is being applied to our temples again, so it's time to go back and make certain that we're nice and fine here. Oops, forgot the Atari first, my bad. Don't do that either, apparently. I'm really terrible at this game. Right, there's your eye shape. Okay, I got you now. Otherwise, you could, like... Not that. Get destroyed here, right? Because there's no real way to deal with this. If you kept doing what I just advised doing, you'd wind up resigning because now you're the clump. This is why he's a pro and I'm not. So yeah, play there, play here. Now we've defended against the awful stuff from happening. Nice and forcing too, because if he doesn't respond to it, then we can go after those stones. And now we can play that. So we got to do that, all of that in Sente, and then we got to come out again. So our group is completely fine, and we've managed to build into half the board. And all of that is because we were able to find shape to deny our opponent, and then didn't take our eye off how we ourselves could keep building out. We could build up the left-hand side. We didn't try to do anything weird, like keep trying to attack the center. Because those who suggested K18... Whoops, my bad. Those who suggested K18, you might want to be careful. Because now you might never have a chance to actually attack that group ever again. But Black might very well start counterattacking you with his very next moves. So is that responding to this really that important, even if it means, you know, maybe he begins to get eye shape? Probably not. Or he begins to try to cut through? No. We can just ignore that because we can build other things. Other things to build. That's not what I meant to do. There we go. So we got to play here. Got to play there. Now, this needs connected up. That was Gote. He continues to build. Time to reduce. Nice and strong move. What do you think? A professional just shoulder hit your stone. Can you kill it? A professional is trying to reduce the heart of all of your things. Can you kill it? How do we even try? G3. That would probably get ignored because the corner can still live. F9 cap is the only attempt Mongolian. That is quite true. You can't let him connect back out. Now we want to connect up. Limit Aji. We have left him nothing to work against. So now all he can do is die. He tries to fight it for a little while, but he resigns here because there's really nothing you can do. Because you can Atari here, you can Atari here, it doesn't really matter. You can Atari there, same thing. You can Atari here, we connect, we can Atari this one. But we're never getting more than one eye, right? So he resigns. He did in fact go in too deep. White called him on it completely. His shape's pretty good. Died, Black resigned. Aztecs KR is indeed white this game. Not quite black. I have no idea who he is. And to make you even more amazed, There is even a player who is more interesting right now than SXKR. Spelled with a capital K. His name is Kiss88 with a parentheses capital P by his name, at the end of his name because he's a pro. And Kiss88 is currently, I want to get this correct because it deserves to be gotten correct. He plays nothing but professionals, mind you. And he is currently 36-3. Playing nothing but professionals. He is 36-3 on Tygem right now. Against only pros. Not a single game that was not played against a fellow professional. And he is currently 36-3. So if you have access to Tygem, SXKR is a guy that you probably want to pay attention to. But Kiss also is someone you want to play, well, obviously play if you can, but someone whose games you want to pay attention to. There's some pretty strong guys on Tygem lately, and those two are definitely ones that you should have your eye on, if you do not already have your eye on them. Nothing to do with Legend 88? Psycho? That's actually a question that I was asking myself as well. Because I don't usually see people with numbers at the end of their name that don't seem like that deliberate like Legend did. I mean, there's like 2000 is one that comes up a lot. Or like 1963, like the year you were born or something. But 88 seems deliberate. I don't know if Legend 88 and Kiss 88 are the same. I couldn't tell you. I should be able to, though. No, I don't think they're the same. Kiss is Chinese. I think Legend was Korean. I don't think they're the same. But they definitely deserve watching. That aside, I have one more game that I want to go over. This game's going to be the same. You are Canadian and Brazilian. But I don't think they can actually swap onto each other's accounts like that. Like, from what I've heard from other Korean players, Koreans can't actually download and log on to the Chinese client and vice versa. So, I mean, I suppose it's possible, but I don't know. Anywho, one last game of SXKR. This time it's going to be obvious. It's going to be obvious who it is. You'll see it immediately who he is. We have Orthodox playing like so. White takes 3 space. Fairly normal. Avoids a lot of unnecessary complication. Like if you play here, this is the thing that you gotta be like reading out, like, you know, don't want to play this. This is the thing you have to be reading out, like, do you want to play this? This is the thing you want to be reading out. Do you want to play this variation? The answer, no, sorry, this variation. The answer, by the way, is you don't. You really, really don't. If you go in here, you might have to play out this variation, which you get influence from. There's a lot of crazy, crazy variations by trying to go in here. It's one of the reasons why it's played more often than just the split, because the split usually yields this variation and not a whole lot else nowadays. But when you approach, there's like so many variations that can be obtained here. Like, do you pincer? What do you choose? Do you go in? Like, what do you choose? There's like so much that happens in this corner. It's kind of crazy. So, alright, do 3 space. Black approaches. We go away. Or pincer far, sorry. Black chooses to change directions. Because the only really good variation here, in my opinion, is the lean into the settle. So he changes directions, not playing that at all. White strengthens his stones without attaching to either or. Black says, I'm just going to profit by attacking, or by attacking, getting larger areas. White says, I kick you. Black says, I poke you. And now we have a bit of a fight on our hands. No like classic D4. What's classic D4? Oh, that variation. Yeah. He's referring to this one, where you can go and be crazy, or go and be kind of wussy. But no, I like the other one a little bit better. I don't know why. Alright, so we're here. Hane. This has variations I'm not going to go into. Suffice to say, White is trying to get more for himself before going back and potentially cutting. Got into the corner. Black's getting influence. What do you think of this move? This move begins the story of this game and why I selected it. What do you think of this move right here? It's wishful thinking, so says Sykta. Why is it wishful thinking? Why is it wishful thinking? What's going on here? It's a great shape move? Okay. Spatnaz said this is a great shape move. Black surely doesn't play S13. No. Oh, doesn't seem bad. Okay. He's hoping for Q13. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Black begins the festivities with a push. And a cut. Because on a very basic level, it seems part of this will die. Either the top is, or I'm going to screw you to death in the right-hand side. I mean, what's it going to be? And White says, okay, I'm going to just take the outside. Black says, no. Take the corner like an honest person. Take my stone, I get the outside, you get the inside. Let's resolve this amicably. But that would be a lot of influence, right? So White says, no, I'm going to come out. Then Black says, then you're going to die. You can't live locally. So that right there is the first notice of bad shape. It's like you can't really play this and expect to get everything unless you give up something like right this instant. Like you'd have to be willing to give up something here, right? So we have this, into that, into coming out, to coming up. So the question now is, what is this shape going to give us? What is this shape going to give us? Because we can't live local. So White says, I'm going to play here. Now, since this is all about shape, does make some good ones. White tries to keep pressure on. Connects. Disconnects. Looking pretty sketchy for... It's looking a little bit sketchy for Black now. It seems that White's coming out and connecting on both sides. Looking a little bit scary now, yeah? So now what do we do? Q10, so says Sykta. Absolutely immediately, Q10. Keep him surrounded, and he's still not living locally. We got pressure firmly applied to his shape. And again, both players are professional again. Trying to get some kind of Aji going here. Empty triangle for the win. That way we can Hane without fear. Tries to get some shape for himself. Doesn't want his stone captured, so that's a no. But now we have to be careful because we have to not be dead. So we're not going to get bogged down into this. We surround the top group. It has to live somehow. We don't even attack it too viciously. We are fine this early in the game with just surrounding. Go is called the surrounding game, and boy is it amazing. Now we've got our other eye, most likely in Gote, but it's there. So then he goes back and plays this one, forcing him to live, and look at that huge corner he's getting because of it. That's crazy. Where has white profited throughout this so far? Nowhere. But now black's getting 7th and 6th line territory on the bottom of the friggin' board. That's a lot. And it came in because white decided not to play a very simple variation, where you could, for example, just take something like this for yourself, or just take this for yourself. He wanted more. He wanted to fight this variation. So he tried his best to attach in order to fight that particular variation. And all black kept doing was poking at the weak points that kept coming up. That tried to give him a very, very strong outside, which led to us surrounding and having 2 happy weak groups to go after. Now we're settling. Now we're surrounding. Oh my god. Look at us try to make ourselves not be dead. Corner's fine, so we're just going to surround yet again. And that is now the current state of the board, where black has surrounded white on top, where white is not completely live in the middle. Because keep in mind, in the middle, we always have the ability to poke at that eye shape, right? So it has to be kind of careful. Has to be kind of careful. And black did get a little profit on the bottom, that is true. So he tries to do something about that. Do I want to continue reviewing this? I will. It's a short game. It's a pretty short game. Obviously, that's entirely way too much to give to your opponent. So he tries to reduce. White tries to get very, very fast with his move, attaching to what's already a really strong area in order to try to make shape. Black puts pressure on it since he's so strong in the entire area. Now we're going to see if we can't get some forcing moves elsewhere. Who's white? White is SXKR, a very strong player on Tygem, who seems to like playing with his food. So we've got this, keep him out of the corner. We don't play anything like this because that just further grants all sorts of shape for our opponent. So we block that. Try to connect on up. We block that too because we're strong in the area. We can do these things. This I love. It's like, okay, we could continue extending this out, but he just says no. you killing 2 stones doesn't matter, so I'm going to kill this. Tries to get some extra shape somehow. Is completely denied. Denied the Atari. Denied cutting through. Tries to connect underneath. Attack the 3 stones now. But black just plays here and then drops down. Because we can cut through above or below. So not even this group is out of danger just yet. And when black played this one... Or wait. No, I'm sorry. White's not SXKR. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. Black is SXKR. My bad. Wrong. Black is obviously SXKR. Sorry, I completely misspoke. I have no idea who white is. White is just a professional. That's all I know. But when black dropped down, white couldn't really do anything from this point forward and went and resigned the game. Because we can't defend this while this exists. There's just nothing we can do. So here's 2 areas, or 3 games, sorry, where we see the really good area of SXKR's play, and that is the ability to just go after your shape like a crazy person. Went after the shape on the bottom of the board, as we see here, poked out the eyes, got rid of stones if necessary, because you kind of need more than one of them to live. Right-hand side kept his opponent looking for 2 eyes for quite some time while he surrounded him, poked the shape there. And I'm sure if this game continued, we probably would have seen him resume his assault on the middle in some fashion or another. So yeah, I'm paying attention to a lot of his games lately just to see how he pokes, what he can poke, things like that. Seeing if I can't maybe go back in my own games and get a better idea of where I could poke my opponent's shape and how, things like that. Definitely someone to look after, especially if you're afraid that you're being too much of a passive player. Or if you just want to get better at fighting. If you have access to Tygem, I highly recommend looking this guy up because he's kind of amazing. All lowercase SXKR. I do not think you'll be disappointed with the guy's games, and I might be going over another one in the future. Because he's got quite a few that are very interesting. In the meantime, you'll look him up. Oh god, no, Pebble, please don't. No. Look up anybody else. Look up Lee Cheng Ho from like, I don't know, 90s and 2004. Don't you look him up because you're already aggressive enough. Oh man. You go look up someone else. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed today's stream and this set of games. I think I'm gonna go have dinner now. And I will of course see you guys next week. Take care, everybody.